90 Minutes in Heaven, authored by Don Piper with Cecil Murphey, is an autobiographical work grounded in Christian belief. Released in 2004, the narrative recounts Piper's brush with death in 1989 and remained on the New York Times bestseller list for 5 years, selling more than 6 million copies. Piper, a Baptist pastor, had been returning home from an event in Texas when his car was struck by a tractor-trailer while crossing a bridge. When first responders reached the wreckage, they discovered Piper with no detectable signs of life, his body crushed beneath the collapsed roof and mangled dashboard, and his chest impaled by the steering wheel. He was covered as a deceased victim would be, as another minister prayed nearby awaiting the coroner. Since having been ordained in 1985, Piper has gone on to recount his extraordinary ordeal before countless audiences, amounting to well over 1 million listeners. According to Piper's testimony, the moment of impact launched him into heaven where a spiritual sequence unfolded. He was greeted by relatives who had died long before, including his great-grandmother, and he joined a choir as it moved toward the gates of heaven. Piper insists he spent 90 minutes in the next life before returning to Earth, which, from his perspective, could only be explained as a miracle granted through God's grace. He struggles to find any other reasoning for why he was permitted to witness the peace and wonder of heaven up close, only to be sent back transformed into someone very different from who he had been. The crash left Piper with devastating injuries, his leg shattered with inches of bone missing, his arm violently dislocated, his skin embedded with shards of glass, and his body largely drained of blood. Astonishingly, he suffered no damage to his head and no internal trauma. His recovery required nearly a year in the hospital, followed by more time healing at home in a bed. Doctors installed an experimental Ilizarov frame on his left leg, an external structure meant to stretch and regrow missing bone. Piper was plunged into relentless pain that he would likely endure forever. Activities he once loved were no longer possible. His devotion to his ministry provided strength yet also stirred deep inner conflict as he wrestled with why he was allowed to witness heaven during those moments of death. His memory of heaven is filled with breathtaking beauty. Despite being apart from his wife and 3 children, he recalls no sorrow, certain through faith that he would eventually be reunited with them in eternity, and trusting that God would care for them until then. He describes heaven as full of glorious music and radiant light. He felt entirely ready to pass through the gates of heaven and behold God directly until he was suddenly pulled back to life before that moment could arrive. As he labored to recover physically, Piper also endured a significant emotional collapse, along with confusion and frustration about having to return to a life permanently changed after knowing the joy of heaven. Still, his belief in God endured. When friends confronted him about his despair and negativity, Piper realized he could no longer face his suffering alone. Through reaching out to others, he slowly transformed into a source of support for people dealing with hardships like his own. Many came to a renewed faith in God after hearing his account of the magnificence beyond death. As his body continued to mend, his emotional well-being improved as well. Piper came to recognize the value of accepting help and celebrating every bit of progress, no matter how small. In reviewing both the book and its film adaptation, the Chicago Tribune commented that 90 Minutes in Heaven offers a remarkable story about the perseverance of the human spirit and the lessons that one can learn in a near-death experience. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.